Okay, you guys are so far away.
You're so far away.
No. They have good stuff over there for you?
Adequate.
All right, so let's see here. Demographical study. Do you want me to zoom it in a little bit for you? Sure. All right, let's zoom. All right, is that better? Is that better? All right. So here we go. Keep going. All right, so number of people. This is from 2000, okay? That's a long time back. It's probably changed a lot since then.
Yeah.
I don't have an up-to-date one, sorry. It's all about the lesson, not about the time. But, yeah. All right, so their population, 137,900 approximately. They got the male and female. There's a few more females than males. It's pretty even though, okay? Then they have the ages broken down there by age group, by years old and stuff like that. Let me get to that. Okay? So people over 85, there's only a couple percentages under 5, little children. There we go again, 5%. Your main target audience is going to be in here, right? This is where the bulk of the people are, huh?
2,000.
You're gonna be going after people that are, young adults that are looking for a nice, pastry or something to eat. That, oh, I love those bear claws, right? We get the football team hooked on the bear claws, Oh yeah. And then you have the professional people, like doctors, lawyers, family people. Maybe even police officers or firefighters that are coming through for a cup of coffee in the morning and a pastry or something like that. Whatever. So you can use this information like that, okay? This is the group of people that I would like to cater to, between, 20 years old and how about we say 50, 55, 60, okay? Why? Because that's the bulk of the population in that area. And you want to draw from the people that are the highest populace. And also, too, mixed up in that populace is going to be some different things that we're going to look on down here, okay? So they do an average age, median age, 33 years old, okay? So you're, pretty young, not too old, okay? Ooh, turn on the heater or something, okay? So over 18 years old, that's a good one to check out. Because you're doing some nice pastry, you're not going to be having a bunch of little kids like 5 years old showing up. The kindergarten isn't going to be coming through the bakery every day. They can't get themselves there. Right? They don't have cars, they don't drive, their mom has to bring them, right? Or their dad or whatever, a babysitter. So this group here at 18 years and over, they usually drive, they usually have a job, or they're college students or something like that, so they have money to spend. So you want to look at that. So we have about 100,000 people in that area there. And then 21 and over, there's even more. It's 99,000 people. So if we're serving alcohol or we're having a bar, we have our market share. You do that. You got 99,348, and then you do square miles, and you can figure out what your market share is. Like in that 50 square mile radius, your market share might be $900,000 or $1 million. If you did this number times, 6 or whatever, times 5, the square mile radius, There's ways to figure those things out. There's formulas for that easily found online. Okay? If you wanted to kind of see what your market share would be, okay? You'd look at your competitors and how much business they do and what their current business levels are. You could probably find that information out or kind of hypothesize, make an educated guess on that. Okay? Then we have, they break down by the race too. not really very important in my view. For some people it might be. Relationships. How many households are there? How many people are married? How many people are single with children? That might be something to look at. You know, if it's a family bakery or a family restaurant, you're going to be expecting those types of people to come, even though, you still might see some other types of people. But this will help you decide maybe when you want to have, what are you going to do for Friday nights? You're going to have, Friday night burger night at the bakery and use all your leftover buns from the whole week and just do, 50 burgers, and when they sell out, type of a thing. Or you're going to do, hey, Saturday morning, if you come and buy a dozen donuts, we'll give you another dozen donuts, half price, so that way all the kids, hey, can we go to Christian Bakery to get some donuts, whatever. That's, those are marketing ploys or strategies. God, this thing is killing me. Strategies to gain customers and gain sales, okay? And you use that demographical information to your advantage, We were talking about it earlier. A lot of people don't do demographic studies. They just kind of like, okay, there's plenty of people here. Well, what kind of people? Like in Coos Bay, there's a lot of retired people, and there's a lot of Coast Guard people, and then there's families too. So you can kind of go for a couple different ideas on that. You can have the early bird special for the old timers. They like to eat their dinner at 4 o'clock or whatever. Hey, man. Instead of happy hour, have old timer hour, or whatever, man. Okay, just an idea, you can rename it something more, PC than old timer hour, I'm sure, right? You get the idea, though, right? So you would use that, and then maybe on the Saturdays you have the family thing going on. We have a Sunday dinner going on. We have a prefixed menu, $15 a person. It's going to be an appetizer, an entree, and a dessert. Boom, there you go. It's not costing you too much. You're just doing fried chicken and giving them a little chopped salad, and you have some leftover brownies for dessert from your other event or whatever. You manage your inventory that you have, and you use it and you tailor what's left over towards the group of people that you want to attract. Okay? There's lots of ways to do all this stuff. I would suggest studying a little bit of psychology, about how people, how they make choices and stuff like that. That's helpful, Gives you insight on how people choose things and what they choose and what they want and what they want to use and do and stuff like that, So keep that in your mind, okay? Let's see some others. There's some more stuff. Okay. Let's look at this housing occupancy and stuff like that. This is how many houses are available. This is how many are occupied. There's vacant housing, a little bit, not much. 5%, 5.5%. It's not very much. It's pretty well stocked area. So the opportunity for growth is there. There's the supply and demand theory happens in Coos Bay. There's not a lot of houses in inventory, so the price is driven up during this time of the year. You'll see, around here, the prices of the houses have gone up a lot because of that supply and demand theory. The ones that are in supply are very old and outdated and would take a lot of work. Mm-hmm. And the ones that are new are highly coveted, and the price is that much more because you're going to spend $100,000 fixing up the fixer-upper. And so the newer house is $100,000 more. So it's kind of, and there's not much in inventory. You might have to wait a year for it to be built for you. So you might have to, so it's the same kind of an idea. Okay? Now, this is important too, homeowner rate and rental. Okay? So, because homeowners are generate a little more money. They're gonna spend a little bit more money in town. They own their house. The rental, maybe they're just there temporarily, or they're just there for college and then they leave. Especially because this is Eugene, so there's probably a lot of that in this actual piece here. Okay, so owner-occupied housing units, 30,000 rentals. So it's about even. It's about even. Most cities, it is about that same. You won't see cities that have, 85% home ownership rate and then like 15% rental rate, unless they're really small communities that people, people live there, they enjoy it. Like I think around here it's probably about 50, because there's some little apartments, all that stuff. And there's just not a lot of houses for sale. Average household size, there you go. Rentals, 2 people. Owner owned is like 2.5. They might have a cat or a dog. No, they have a child. Maybe some are going to have 4. Some owners of their house might just be a single person that, is a professional person that instead of paying rent, they bought their own house. But why is that number important? Because now you can figure out how many people there might be. You can do, 2.4 times, or 2.47 times the 30,000 housing units, owner occupied, then that'll give you some kind of a number of how many people, are in that realm. So what are you looking at? 60, 70,000, 85,000 people that are family people out of that, 170,000 or whatever it was. So it's still about half. Okay? But you use that information to pick who your customers are going to be. Another thing you can do too is you can see how many times people drive by the building or the location. How many people go by it and make a look. You sit there with the counter and you do it for maybe like 2 of the busiest hours of the day, and then you do it at 2 of the slowest hours of the day, and then you average out the slow hours from that and the busy hours from that, and then you can kind of figure out like, hey, this building gets seen 5,000 times a day during passing through. If 10% of those come in and buy something, that's 500 customers out of the 5,000, right? So that's how you can tell if it's a good location or not. That's a good number. So 10% of people will stop and check it out. That's a fair number to go with. If you were to say 25 or 33, that means your place is a destination and it's been there for a long time and people come there just for that. Or if they're going to Costco, well, we'll stop there too. Because we know that's good. We've been there lots of times. You see what I mean? So when you're first starting out, to say 10% is a pretty good number, okay? I'm trying to think of all the things I've learned. Now this heater is just warming up now. Let's see if there's anything else out there that's really good. So that's what demographics are. Demographics are the study of the different cultures in an area, different groups of people, and I'm just hammering it home there. You use that, to your advantage. If you're going to open an Asian restaurant and there's